this is David Stark from WatcherPass.com, your website for movie reviews, interviews, and recommendations. Today I'm going to talk about Spirit Untamed, which is a new animated film from DreamWorks Animation that's being released in theaters on June 4th, 2021. It's the second theatrical film in the Spirit franchise, and it's essentially a movie adaptation of Spirit Riding Free, which is a series on Netflix. Spirit Untamed follows the adventures of Lucky Prescott, who is voiced by Isabela Merced, and she is living in the city with her grandfather, who is more proper than she is. She's not really used to following rules, so she gets into a little bit of trouble. So her grandfather, after she destroys his house yet again, so her grandfather sends her to the country with her Aunt Cora, who's voiced by Julianne Moore, to live with her father Jim, who's voiced by Jake Gyllenhaal. So as you can already tell, there's some pretty good star power to the voices here, and they're, the voices are overall pretty good. So after Lucky gets to the country, she is intrigued by horses, as I think anyone would be if you go to the country and you see horses, and she starts to want to ride a horse. And there she meets some friends who help her to kind of learn how to ride a horse and learn to adapt to country life. And she does it really well. She's definitely a free-spirited kid, and she definitely likes being outdoors and running around, and so she kind of fits in well with the country. So I'm not going to reveal too much about the film, but eventually, I guess, there's the horse that she is taming. His family gets kidnapped by horse wranglers. They're going to sell the horses, and so these three girls have to go and stop the horse wranglers. And so it's a fun movie. It's it's a sweet movie. I'm going to talk about a few things I liked about the movie, a few things I didn't like about the movie, and then you can go see it if you want in theaters on June 4th, 2021, or you can wait for it to come to I believe it's coming to VOD a few weeks after it goes to theaters. So if you want to see it in theaters, you can see it then. If you want to wait for it to be available at home, that's also fine. Or if you just want to watch the Spirit Riding Free series on Netflix, that's another option. So three things I liked about the film. The first is, I loved the fact that the main characters were three kind of rebellious-ish girls. I mean, Lucky is definitely the most rebellious, and she's a fun character to watch. But she also has her friends that she makes, Abigail, who's voiced by McKenna Grace, and Prue, who's voiced by Marsai Martin. And they're a fun pair. They each kind of have different personalities that kind of mesh well. Lucky's much more rebellious, free-spirited. Prue is kind of more, she's also energetic, she's up for anything, but she also likes to sing and dance, and she's kind of more of a character. And then Abigail, she's more of a rules follower. She is, I think, the best rider of the group, and she also helps Lucky learn how to ride. So she's kind of more on the straight and narrow, but together they all kind of form this crew, this adventure. And I liked that they all had different personalities, and that each of them kind of added something to this group. And it's really great to have the three kind of coalesce very well, and you get some characters that maybe some girls or boys might relate to. You might have someone that you relate more to of the three. I mean, I probably would relate to Abigail more, because I guess I'm more of a rule follower as well. But there's something for everyone there, and so that was really fun to see. The second thing I liked about the movie are horses. I mean, everyone loves horses. How can you not like horses? And this film has a lot of horses, and they each kind of have very different personalities. And the fun thing is that the girls' horses all kind of adapt personalities of their riders. So Lucky's horse is more headstrong, more spirited. Prue's horse is a little more goofy. They kind of have a lot of fun. And then Abigail's horse is kind of the more proper horse, the one that kind of does what's needed. So the horses are well animated. They're fun to see. There's some really nice animated video of the countryside and the horses running around. And so it's really kind of fun to see, especially for kids. Kids, everyone loves horses, but kids especially love horses. And the last thing I liked are the songs. There's not a ton of songs in the film, but they are there, and they're fun. There's a really great song that they sing when they're on their adventure, that kind of ties everything together and helps with kind of helps the montage go along. And then also there's a really nice song that they sing when they're scared, and they have to kind of make it through a very difficult situation. That's also really a really lovely song. And so, it's an animated kids movie. There's going to be songs, but this one had a lot of like really nice understated songs. They're not, they're not like these big productions. They're kind of more in the Wild West, Old West kind of theme with a guitar and like a singing cowboy kind of theme. And so they're really nice. They're really kind of, they fit the mood of the film, and they kind of add some nice overtones to the scenes going on. So things I didn't love about this film. The first is the animation. I mean, the animation's not bad. It's actually it's good. It's it's bright. It's colorful. But it does feel, I think, because they were matching the Netflix series, which is a little bit more angular and kind of doesn't have super high production value. The film has a similar kind of angular animation style. You've got characters don't have a ton of definition. They're kind of smoothed over, and the environments aren't super lush. I mean, there are some very beautiful environments and some very beautiful scenes, but I think that the level of animation just wasn't kind of what I expect from a movie coming to theaters. Like a something from Pixar or Disney Animation. And DreamWorks does some really beautiful animation, so I was kind of expecting to be blown away, and I just wasn't. So it's fine. It's good enough to kind of enjoy, and you get the story, and I'm sure kids will love it, but it wasn't the level that I was kind of expecting. And so I wish it was a little bit more impressive. There were some really beautiful scenes in this film that could have just been take your breath away, and it didn't do that for me. The next thing I didn't love is the fairly linear story, and this is again, this might be because it's either because it's based on the TV show or because it's a kids movie, but the story didn't have that many surprises. You kind of had the Lucky comes to the village. She meets the horse. She becomes friends with the horse. Bandits come and kidnap some horses, and then they go on their adventure to go stop them. It's all very kind of point to point. There wasn't a ton of branches, and there wasn't a lot of there wasn't anything kind of parallel going on. So I wish it was a little bit more complex. I mean, it was fine that the story kind of keeps going along at a pace, a nice pace, not a gallop, more of a trot. But the film, I just wish there was a little bit more complex story. And the last thing I didn't love, and this is a very minor point, and I think kids will probably love her. I didn't love Lucky's character at the start, and this might just be because I have kids. We've been cooped up for a while. Lucky's character at the start basically just kind of destroys the house. She makes a giant mess, and maybe that might hit a little closer to home for me, being home with my kids all the time, and having our house get very messy from having children running around the house. So maybe it's accurate. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe because it's a little too accurate. But I didn't love her character at the start. Now, her character's fine. I love rebellious characters that are headstrong, characters that know what they want, especially for young female protagonists to be rebellious and headstrong and know what they want is great. It's really fun to see little girls and boys have these characters that can go out and get what they want and do what they want, and kind of be role models for them. So Lucky's character is fine. Just at the start when she was destroying their house, it hurt me a little bit. But that being said, that's Spirit Untamed. It's a fine film. My kids loved it. They instantly went and watched the Netflix show the next day. So they really enjoyed it. They love seeing the horses. They love seeing the characters. They love the whole adventure of it. So I'm sure your kids will love it too. There are a ton of options in theaters. So if you want to go to the theaters, this is probably what you're going to see. And if you want to wait for it to come out, it's a new, fun animated film that's it's not going to scare kids. It's not going to be offensive to anyone. It's kind of a very kind of safe choice. So if you want to see it in theaters, it'll be in theaters. If you want to see it when it comes out at home, it'll also come out at home. And that's Spirit Untamed. It's released in theaters on June 4th, 2021. So thank you so much for watching. If you liked this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot and makes sure all my new content goes straight to you. And as always, please go to watchyourpast.com for our movie reviews, interviews, and recommendations. Thank you.